Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
So just give everyone a few more minutes.
No worries. I'm putting my makeup on, so that's why my video off.
I knew that
I don't know.
sounded familiar.
I hope that isn't an issue.
No, you're totally fine.
Okay. I sent you over my the questions too.
I just got it. Thank you for that.
Perfect. Jenna, what platform is this? I've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's I guess they changed the name to Dialpad Meetings, but it was Uber Conference. And it's so funny because I've had this for pretty much the whole time I've had my business, for like 10 plus years. And it was always just a conference line. So I'd have my clients call in a conference line so they didn't have to call my regular phone number and I could record it.
Right.
And they just have done so many upgrades. And now they have this, like virtual meetings, just like Zoom. It's just like Zoom.
Yeah.
It cost me $11 a month. So It's actually way better than Zoom. And I get the recordings, I get an audio recording, I get a video recording. You can take like notes with AI, you can do the chat, like it's all the same. And what happened was my Zoom went down actually it's been probably like 3 or 4 months ago. And while I was waiting for it to get back up, I just started using this and I'm like, I actually like this better. The only thing you can't do with this is like stream it into Facebook. Like I know you can do that with Zoom. And you can't do like the webinars, but if you're just doing like client meetings, this is awesome.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, because I've never even seen anyone else use it. That's why I was like, oh, what is this? I've never seen it.
I found it by mistake.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. I don't know where everybody is. Let me see. You got the reminder, right?
I did. Yep. I saw the email.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure that actually went out.
No, I was glad because I was like, oh, good. I can make this call live.
Awesome. Oh, you will be able to come on Tuesdays?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. I try to make it at like a good time because I do have people overseas as well.
Yeah.
So, midday typically works.
Yeah, midday is usually better. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, it's good for me. I'm just not a morning person. So if it's a morning call, like that's when I don't end up showing up.
I hear ya. All right. Well, I don't know where everybody is. So I'm going to give one more minute and then I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Actually, somebody literally just joined like a minute ago.
Yeah.
People always wait till the last minute, huh? All right. Let me send her the link. And let me just post it in the group. All right. Well, I don't know where everybody is. They should be showing up soon. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me turn the video on. You can leave your video off if you want, or you can turn it on. It's up to you. Oh, now
Okay.
joining. Okay, cool. All right. Now everybody's joining. Hello, hello. Hi, Cammie.
Hi.
So good to see your face. How are you?
You too. I am good. I just got hair extensions yesterday, so I feel
I was going to say your hair's longer.
Yeah, I'm living the Jenna Faith lifestyle.
Well, this is my natural hair.
Oh my
No
gosh.
extensions. It's nice.
It looks fantastic.
Thank you. Yep, finally. Like, I'm just not doing anything to it and letting it grow. So
yeah,
no crazy colors or anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Cindy. All right, Melissa, and I know a couple other people are okay. Vanessa's joining right now. All right, perfect. So we were just a couple minutes running behind. All right. So, welcome everybody. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. We're going to have an awesome 6 weeks. It's actually going to end up being 7 weeks because this week was just kind of like our kickoff week. And then what I want to do today is just kind of get to know everybody. Some of you I already know, some of you I don't. I only got 3 of the intake forms. So at least half of you have not done the intake form. So if you can do that as soon as possible, that would be great. That just helps me get a better idea of who you are, what you do, and how I can best serve you and help you. And so today what I want to do also is just like a quick introduction, just so also everybody kind of knows each other. I like to do this because I tend to find that there's an opportunity for collaboration between a lot of people in my groups as well. So people that maybe do similar things or, can kind of collaborate in some other way. And also just want to share with you like how to get the most out of our time together, because my biggest thing for all of my clients is results. Like I want to see you guys get results. I want to see you guys walk away with an actual plan. I want to see you guys walk away with something tangible that you can take and run with after the 6 weeks. So the way that this program is going to work and the way that I'm going to run it is obviously every week we're going to have a live call. But there will also be pre-recorded trainings that you're going to get. Sometimes it might be really short, like a 15-minute training, a 20-minute training. Sometimes it might just be a PDF or a workbook, but I'm going to walk you through all of the things that were outlined when you signed up for the program, like actually coming up with the offer, pricing, naming, marketing, launching, like all of the things we're going to go through week by week. And the way that I'm going to do it is basically you're going to have like, I don't like the word, but homework, right? So you'll have something to do and complete by the time we get to our next call. So that way, when we're on our next call, you actually are prepared. You have something to bring to the call. If you have questions, if you need clarity, if you need feedback on anything, then you can bring those types of things to the call. So I'll be doing a little bit of teaching on some of the calls, but it won't be like a straight up like every call I'm just training, because you're going to get the trainings outside of the call and you'll be able to do that on your own time. And I just find that works best to have just something prepared, so that way when you are on the calls you can maximize and get the most out of what the work that we're doing together. So that's one. So today, after this call, by tonight you'll get your kind of assignment for next week, which will really be like designing your offer. If you already have an offer, a way to most likely just revitalize your offer and make it so that you can charge the higher price. So let me go into a little bit more. I know you guys read my emails and all of that stuff, and we're really interested in the process and how this works. And I used to be the type of person that would launch all the time, new products, new things, and I don't know. It was a conditioning, I think, that I got from being in the coaching industry. And it was just like, I always have to come up with something new, And probably about like halfway, I feel so old and dated now because I'm like my 11th year is this year. But like halfway, I was like, this is like, it's awesome because I'm creative, I'm multi-passionate and I like doing it. But it's also like very exhausting to like have to reinvent the wheel all the time, and it's just like there's no reason why that has to happen. So I moved more into like having a signature program. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't sell anything else. You can absolutely sell other things, but it's like you want to have that baseline of like, this is my thing, right? Like, this is my signature offer. This is basically my moneymaker, right? Like, this is where I know all of my clients are coming in. This is where I know like my bills are paid, and I have a pipeline going on, and I'm also creating mastery within this program. So that's something you can't do when you're literally creating something new all the time. Is like you can't create mastery because you're not really looking and reflecting into like, okay, what's working, what's not working. Are my clients getting results? Do I have to tweak something? Do I have to change these modules? Do I have to make the program longer? Do I have to make it shorter? Right. Also, when you're launching something new all the time, it's like new sales page, new social media posts, new banners, new graphics, new emails, like everything is new, right? So it's like you're in this mode of like hustle to create the things and also support your clients. With having this specific type of offer, because there's mastery, you basically just get to flick the switch on and run it again when you want to. I suggest quarterly, but we will get into that more into the group why. But yeah, I suggest quarterly, so that way you always have something going on, but it's not constant, right? So you have the time, energy, and space to actually support your clients, to where I'm sure that you guys have experienced this, where maybe you joined a program and the host or the coach was like so excited during the launch and it made you want to join the program, and then as soon as you join the program, that energy kind of fades because now they're off trying to sell something else. Now they're giving that energy to another launch. So with creating this type of program and this structure within your business, you're actually giving yourself space to give that energy to your clients that just hired you. So I think that's really important. And that really also, one of the main things that I was saying in the emails a lot was like better client results. We want that, right? Especially because there's a lot of kind of BS that's in the coaching industry. Like we want to make sure that the people who are coming into your world are getting really great results. They want to remain your clients. They want to stay working with you, whether it's, within that program or moving up to something else or referring people. So that's the whole idea really behind having this kind of signature program is your mastery, getting your clients real results, and you being able to actually have more energy and make more money. And one of the ways that you'll make more money is by just having a higher priced offer, right? That's probably the easiest way to make more money, because we all think like, oh, if it's, 30, let's say $350, it's going to take the same energy for you to get 10 people to say yes to 350 as it will for you to get 10 people to say yes to 3,500. And within this program, I'm going to literally teach you guys step by step through my experience and through what my clients have gone through, how you can charge that price. So I would just like to hear from you guys. If you want to just put it in the chat, what's your highest offer right now? Outside of one-on-one, because I know one-on-one is high for most people. So group, course, anything like that. What is the highest priced offer that you have outside of your one-on-one? Okay, 6 months for 4K. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. And Vanessa, oh, well, I'm excited to have you in the group as well, Vanessa. She says, I was going to ask because I already have the signature program and a mini course. Yes. So it's like, so with this, you can create a whole new program, or you can just take something you already have and elevate it. Dana's at $695. Cami, I just launched. I'm delivering it now. Got 4 people, and one was already. She already asked for a refund. Okay, we can talk about that in a little bit. Cindy, 12 months at. Okay, so can you see how like just by increasing the price on your current offers, you're going to be able to make more money, with less clients. And not to say that you don't want to reach more people, like we all want to reach more people, but I feel like there's a difference between a group program or a group coaching program than there is a course. And a lot of people mix those two things up. So they'll be giving access and they'll be giving things that should just be a course, or as a group program with a course price. So that's the mistake I see a lot of people make, is that like they're over giving, and I'm all about over delivering, but over giving to me is something completely different, because that's going to lead to burnout. That's going to lead to resentment. That's going to lead to like what you're dealing with, Cami, right? So it's like, how do we structure our program and our business in a way that makes sense for us and makes sense for our clients? and allows us to have that time and space to do what we need to do, get our clients results, but then also have this pipeline of like, I'm always going to have these clients, so that is the goal here, is to really help you guys create that structure within your business through a signature program. Okay, Vanessa says, I have one-on-one VIP for 12 weeks, 2,500 with 500 deposit. You thought it was a course? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. 90 days for your signature program. Okay, perfect. And curious since I didn't get the intake forms for most of you yet, what is your current audience size? So when I say audience, this is either a Facebook group, a email list, or, hold on. You guys hear that? Hold on. I don't know what that is. Okay.
I think you need to mute somebody, maybe Dana.
Okay. I think it's now. Okay. So current audience size. So not just your followers, not just people, how many people follow you on Instagram or Facebook, but like what you're actually working with in terms of people who are interested in what you have. So email list. I do consider like a Facebook group or community like your audience, because I feel like those people have specifically said, hey, I want to join your specific thing, right? But when somebody's just like adding you on Facebook, like 9 times out of 10, they're not trying to buy your thing. Actually, more often than not, they're probably trying to sell you their thing. So I would say like, don't count on that as like, so like people who have opted into like your master classes, sort of things like that. A one-on-one for 12 months at 25K. Okay, so you have a big offer. Nice. I like that. Sharing your money back. All right. So audience size, you guys can just type it in there, just so we see what we're working at. And the good thing about the structure that we're going to put in place in this program is that you don't need a huge audience. You just need people who are engaged. You just need people who want what you have. And the way that I'm going to teach you guys to market this and promote it and position it, it's going to be an easy yes for people. So even if I know a couple of you guys are, like just coming back from like a hiatus, or even if you're like switching niches, there is a way to enroll people into your process. And it's really your positioning, it's how you're positioning this thing and the results that they're going to get. All right. Cindy has email list 167, Facebook. Okay. So you have an email and Facebook group. Okay, perfect. So yeah. And I always say like, as long as you have, I would say if you have like about 500 people, you could do your beta run. And that's another thing that I'll teach you guys as well, is like, if you don't already have a signature program, is how to run it the first time to kind of get those hands raised and just see like, okay, is this something that people are actually interested in? Because a lot of times what happens too is you may have an offer, and it's not that there's anything wrong with the offer. It's not that people don't want the offer. It's just your messaging, right? So you could literally shift your messaging. Same exact offer, shift the messaging, and then get way more people to say yes, because now, you're hitting on those points of what actually matters to them and what they're actually looking to do. So I did that with my 10K lab. I did that a couple different ways, because there was a few different things. One was like 3x your income. That was like one angle that I took. Another angle was you want consistent 5-figure months. That was another angle. A different angle was like better client results. So it's like, different things are going to hit with different people. So within this program, I'm going to teach you guys like how to have all of those different angles, so that way you're getting people at all points, and how to do it like very seamlessly, very easily, without all the craziness. I think there's a time and a place for massive Facebook posting. There's a time and a place for advertising. There's a time and a place for, the big launches. But with this structure in place, like, you really aren't going to have to do that. As long as you're consistent with your audience and you know what they want, and you're able to position yourself in that way. Melissa says social media 15K, Facebook group 200, email list 300. Okay, perfect. Cami, email 350. YouTube. I've been having a lot of YouTube conversations in some of my other groups. YouTube is definitely top tier, I'd say, when it comes to platforms for getting your message out there. Okay, cool. Cindy says, yes, I think clarity in the messaging for the group program versus my courses workshops. Yeah. And there's just different things that you can do and tweaks that you can make to go from, hey, I'm charging $500 for a course or $900 for a course to it's $3K, it's $5K, and it's just like a simple tweak, and it's going to allow you to just work with your clients better, right? I also find that when people are paying more, one of the things one of my old coaches used to say is when people pay more, they pay attention. And I do find that, I find that when my people are, paying that $3,500 to $5,000 price range, they're showing up, they're showing up to the calls, they're doing the work, they're doing the thing versus hey, I'm just going to do this cheap, $97 thing or $47 thing. And then people don't show up. One of the things we will discuss later as well is payment plans. A lot of people get scared about payment plans. And I found that, I had way more people default on a $47 membership than I did on my higher price programs. And it's just the mentality of the people, that join that program, what they want to get out of it, their commitment to the program. They have skin in the game, versus hey, I'm just paying $47 for this thing and I don't really care about it. I might or might not show up. I might or might not go through the content. When you're charging people a higher price, you're going to get better clients. That's just the bottom line. You're going to get better people. You're going to get better clients. What is going on with Olga? Hold on. It keeps saying she's trying to join. Let me message her and see. Can she not join for some reason? Let me see. Let's see. Olga. I keep seeing her trying. Are you having problems? All right. We'll see what happens there. Oh, she couldn't hear. Oh, okay. All right. I was like, what is going on? Alrighty. Let me see. Vanessa says, I already got 3 clients a couple of years ago. One couple didn't end payment the last payment, gave them a deal 2 for 1 and also wanted a refund. And the other one only paid the deposit. Now she's saying she'd rather pay me for other services. Yeah. So I'm going to through this process, you guys will learn how to handle this stuff as well. Contracts are definitely going to be, something that I've, definitely have been lax about sometimes, but they will save you, especially if you're doing high ticket things, especially if you're doing any agency work, done for you work, any kind of service work, you want to have something in place to protect yourself, in those instances. And then also it's about really clearly communicating what they're going to get. Because people make a lot of assumptions of what they're going to get. And then, there's just a miscommunication there. So really clearly outlining, this is what you're actually going to get in the program. But also, like I said, just in how you show up and how you're going to be promoting this thing, you're going to just attract better people, better people who just understand the process, know, they see the value of investing in themselves and they're ready to do the work. Cindy says 100%. My completion rate for courses and workshops is so low. Yes, I've had that issue too. They buy and don't even sign in program. They come to most of the calls. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I don't offer a refund and they signed a contract for it. Well, then no refund. Completion rate. Yes. So that's something I am very adamant about. And which is why I love to do these smaller intimate group things, because for me, I want to see you guys get results. You guys getting results is good for me, right? It's good for you, obviously, but it's also good for me. And when you're thrown into a course, or you throw people into a course, or you kind of put them into a box, it's a completely different animal than hey, let me individually support you in getting this result. And what I love about having a program like this is it's small enough to where everybody's going to get seen. Everyone's going to feel heard. Everyone's going to get that, they're going to get basically FaceTime with me. Whereas if I had a group of 700 people, you might be lucky if you get to ask me one question the whole 6 weeks, right? So it's just a matter of like, what is the experience you want your clients to have? And would you rather have 100 people in a 35 or $350 course, or you could have 10 people in a $3,500 course and make sure that they get results? It's less energy expended. You're helping them deeper. You're going to make sure that they actually show up. Like, that's one thing I love to do, is like, I love to call my clients out. Like, hey, Cammie, you haven't shown up to the last 2 calls. Like, what's going on? You kind of can't do that, when you have hundreds of people in your group. So it also, just gives a different type of feeling to the space that you're creating for your clients. And I know we're all in some sort of transformational work here. So that's really important to do. Alrighty. So that's just kind of the rundown. So the way to best utilize this time with me is show up to the calls. If you can't make the calls live, everything's going to be recorded. So it will be posted in the group probably that day, if not within 24 hours. So if you can't make it to a call, just say, okay, well, I can't make Tuesday's call, but I'm going to watch it Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So actually just like put it in your calendar as if you were live with us to watch the replays. Come to the calls prepared. So like I said, you'll be getting an assignment. So come prepared to the next call. If you have questions as you're like listening to the trainings or as you're going through your stuff, if you have questions, just write the questions down, and bring them to the call. So be prepared on the call to ask the questions, to get the feedback. What I also love about these calls too is like, there may be some things that maybe you didn't even think of, but then you hear someone else talk about it and you're like, I had that question too. Or, I go through that same thing too. So, just being present in the process is really going to help you get better results. We do have the Facebook group. For now, I'm going to be posting the actual contents just right inside the Facebook group, because it's just going to be easier for you guys to access everything, the community and the Facebook group, in one shot. What did I want to say about that? Let's see. The group, you have the calls. Oh, in the group also, I love for my clients to share wins. So even if you have a tiny win, like someone reached out to me, or I grew my list, or I had a TikTok go viral, like anything like that, like share that as well, because sometimes we overlook the small things and then we feel like we're not making progress. So share your wins in the group. You can ask questions in between calls. So as you're going through your assignments, as you're starting to actually create your course and everything, post that in the group. If it's, in between calls, you can post in the group. Just make sure that you tag me, because Facebook doesn't show me everything. Even though it's my group and I'm the admin, it doesn't notify me of everything. So just tag me at Jenna Faith to make sure that I can see it. And I think that's it as far as what contents you'll actually be getting. So you'll get the stuff in the group. Oh, the emails, I have reminder emails set up, but whether you get the reminder email or not, we're going to be here every Tuesday. Same time, same link. So save the link, put it on your calendar, or like I said, if you can't make it live, just say, okay, I'm going to watch it on Wednesday or whatever, whenever you can. And yeah, just show up, be committed to the process, and you will get the results. And I'm excited for that. So what I want to do here is just do a quick intro of everyone. So I'll just kind of go around the room and just share with everyone who you are, what you do. And if there's anything else that you want to share with me or a question that you want to ask, you can do that as well. And I'm just going to open up my thing here. We'll start with Cindy, because Cindy, you're the first one next to me. I don't know if it shows up like that to everybody else, but to me, I see Cindy first.
I'm on your left on my screen, so I don't know. Don't know what other people's screens are like. Hello. I'm I'm a psychologist, but also a parenting specialist. So I specialize with ASD and ADHD, anxiety, and kind of emotional regulation. So I guess I take the mental health aspect, and that's the forefront. That's what I care about. That's why I do what I do. I don't want the future generation to have the mental health problems that's out there right now. And through parenting, you can change that. So yeah, especially, and if you're neurodiverse, well, yeah, it's a bad mix, isn't it? So that's I'm passionate. I've got ADHD. I've got neurodiverse kiddos. So I live it, I breathe it, and yeah. So my parent, it's an interesting thing. There's a lot of mindset issues I think a lot of helpers and, like carers, and we all have that. It should be accessible to everybody. But because it comes from, am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Okay, I freeze all the time and I can never tell. My screen was frozen. So like, my internet's really weird because I live in the middle of farm fields, but we're not actually in the country. But the internet thinks we are. So yeah, charging big price. It's taken me so long. My prices have been creeping over the years, and when I found out what specialist psychologists actually charge for one-to-one, I was like, oh, all right now. So that made it so easy to actually charge my worth. So for one-to-one, I am at where the others are on the expensive side, but it's not for a specialist. I've been doing this for 15 years. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I'm not going to £45 for a counselor. I don't think so. But for like the program, I find it hard to like increase. This is how like I've been creeping this up. It's 4 years old now, I think, something like that. It was like COVID-y time. So it's been creeping up, but it's like this resistance to like charging people more because they need the help so badly and they can't afford one-to-one. So that it's kind of one-to-one's my top, and then you've got this, and then the courses are for like the people who can't afford it or don't want to. You might not want to. And the format's 12 months because it's not how long it takes me to give them the transformation. It's how long it takes them to walk away confident that they can nail anything because their children are really, and I suppose that's it. And we can work. I'm really excited to kind of work through all of that because the people in the program have very complex situations, super complex. Therefore, 12 months works perfectly. But if they had easy peasy, not easy peasy, but you know what I mean, they wouldn't need the 12 months. So so that's me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely needed. And when you think about your program, you want to think about the result, right? So you're not selling the price of the program or even the length of the program. You're selling at the end of that 12 months. This is what you're going to be able to do. This is how you're going to be able to communicate with your children. This is how they're going to act, so it's like leaning more on the results. A lot of us tend to like lean on the features, so how many calls they're going to get, how many workbooks they're going to get, how much time they have with you. And it's like, if you can clearly communicate that end result, people will pay anything, right? Yeah. Especially if you're really hitting on those points of like, this is why you need this. And, oh, okay, you can't afford it. I do have these kind of, done for you or do it yourself courses. You can take one of those.
But if I think it's it's messaging. Like, how does it differ? Being ill has been super, super helpful. So I have chronic fatigue syndrome and I relapsed in June. After my last launch for this program, I thought a holiday afterwards was a good idea. It really was not a good idea because it was a busy holiday. It just blew up. But it gave me all that time to really sit back, and because I love creating. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. But like when you're saying you need new sales pages, you need new messages, I was like, yeah, I'm tired. Like I don't want to do that. Like I like creating, but I don't want to do that. So I'm not, unless something speaks super like major, but I want to review and revamp because everything is similar but not. But when it gets to a year, we cover pretty much anything that I have courses and workshops for.
Right.
So where's the distinguishing factor here? Like, I don't know. So I was like, when this came up, I'm like, oh yes, now I can literally just focus on this and with guidance.
Perfect. Yeah, we definitely will go through all of that stuff. And, even though we're focusing on, the main signature offer, I am going to be working with you guys on like how your offer suite fits into it, right? Like how your other offers, your downsells, your lower price stuff, your higher price stuff, how that all is going to fit into this structure as well. So awesome. Excited to have you here. Let's go to Cammie. How are you? You're still muted. Let's see.
Sorry, I was multitasking. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was literally multitasking trying to figure out this refund for this client because she's literally currently fucking logging into Member Vault, watching all the videos. And I'm trying to revoke her access because she wants a refund.
Oh.
So let me just recenter here. So I'm an intuitive life coach for perfectionists. I have one-on-one for 8K for 6 months. And then I just launched a program called Permission to Profit. I did a pre-launch in December and I signed 3 clients. And then I did like my real launch in January and I signed 1 more client, but technically I was done. Like I was burnt out. I was fucking done. I didn't even want any more people to sign up. So that's why I got the results. And I realized it's because my nervous system is activated by like this rejection that literally just happened, right? Like this thought of like everyone's going to hate me in my group. And like now I have this person with the refund. So everything's happening for me. And also, I really have decided, so maybe there's a positioning piece, right? Like clearly I must have had some miscommunication in the marketing where she thought it was a course. And I was very clear that it's coaching, but apparently even coaches don't know what coaching is. So I have to like be very specific, like this is what group coaching is, and not assume that other life coaches know what coaching is. So that's the lesson I'm learning with this person here. And so what I could use your help with in the next 30 days is, because I did this launch and I didn't reach my goal of 10 people, I didn't make 40K, and now I'm having cash flow issues. So I'm setting the intention to, and I let a lot of my one-on-ones graduate because I was like, I want to move into group. So my goal here is to sign 2 one-on-ones this week and consider how can I maybe automate this launch? Because right now, I don't even want to relaunch Permission to Profit, my group. It's like taking so much of my emotional energy just for these 3 people. And I'm like, oh, this isn't what I fucking thought it was. I thought it was going to be easier. Like, and it's actually more intense versus one-on-one where it feels very easy to just show up, fucking coach them, and we're all good. So I'm noticing I wasn't ready for the emotional turmoil that I was feeling with expanding myself into this intimate container with more people, with more opinions and more thoughts and more expectations.
Yeah. So
and then one more thought that I might pitch to you is, I was just thinking what would be fun and easy for me, because I'm a manifesting generator too, is I wonder if I just did like a 30-day Voxer program for my past clients. And I just sent an email to say, hey, like I'm transitioning between one-on-one and group. I have a couple of spots open. Here's $1,000 offer for you. Like, let's get together. I can support you with whatever you need. And that feels easy, because even right now, my brain is like, I don't even know that I want more one-on-ones. Like the whole point of a group was to not be fucking maxed out in my schedule.
Yes.
So would love your thoughts on that as well.
Yes. I always say like, go with what feels good. So if the Voxer thing like came up and you're like, you know what, this feels really good, do it. And don't have any like, because something like that is so easy to sell. You know, I was just having this conversation in my other group that there's a difference between launching, right? Being open for business and then having stuff automated, right? I lean more to the I'm open for business. So no matter what, whether I'm an enrollment period of, you know, my beta, whether I'm launching one-on-one, you can always buy something from me. You know, so I want you guys to adopt that mindset as well. Is that even, like I said, even though we're going to be focusing on the signature program throughout the 6 weeks, like always have something for people to sell, you know, and that's kind of what I moved into, because people will always still say, Jen, but you are still launching all the time. I'm like, but I'm not, because I haven't created a new program. Like this is my first new program in like 6 months. You know, everything that I quote unquote launch is like some form of one-on-one or some different format of something that I already have created. right? So you can think about that too. Like there can be different formats of like stuff that you already have. So that way you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just like, you know what? Maybe I did this as a course. Now I want to run it as a one-on-one, or now I want to run this one-on-one as like a group, where I had this thing that was, a DIY. Now I want to do it for people, and get like a big influx of cash or something like that. So you can also think about it that way too, to where you're not having to like create new content, new programs all the time. So like, for example, the Voxer, that's easy, right? That's easy, especially if you're going to just past clients. You can do that personal reach out. Hey, I have this cool thing. Thought you might be interested. And that's it. And you can keep it very light, and there's like no pressure. So like, that's why it feels good, right? Because it's just like, hey, I have this cool thing. I'm excited about it. Come join, right? And then, with the launching of the program, the way that I'm going to be teaching you guys to do it is like, I just call them enrollment periods. So it's not like, to me, I don't even view it from the perception of a launch. It's just like, and you can do it one of two ways, which we'll get into in further into the program. You can either have it open all the time. So no matter what content you're posting, no matter what you're putting out there, you're just driving people. That's your main thing that you're just driving people to all the time. Or like I said, it's just, okay, enrollment period is now open. So it's not like you're doing this whole thing, because I think we also psych ourselves out when we hear the word launch. And it's like, oh my God, I have to launch this thing. I have to do this and I have to do that. And it's just like, okay, well, like, for example, this beta thing, I think I might have, basically all I did was I took the emails that I sent and I reposted them on Facebook. So those of you who don't know, I lost my Facebook page in November. So I lost like all of my contacts, all of my old clients, like all of my groups, my Facebook ads, my page. I lost everything. So like, I don't even have a lot of interaction on my Facebook group page right now because it's brand new. But literally all I did was take the emails that I was sending and I put them on my Facebook. And that was it. I don't know. I think Cammie, you might have signed up from my Facebook, but I think everybody else signed up from emails. So it's like, it can be easy and in flow based on how you like to do it. If you don't want to sit there and do reels every single day or do stories every day, you don't have to, right? Like leaning on the thing that like feels good for you. For me, I love writing. Like you can't stop me from writing an email every day, So it's like, that's my thing. And I know that's my thing. And I know that I'm really good at that. So that's what I lean on when I do my quote unquote launches, right? But like I said, even just shifting the perception of like, it's not really a launch, I'm just opening enrollment again. And so Cammie, if you wanted to, right, like let's say you fix the cash flow issue, because that's also becomes an issue all in itself, is you're trying to hold space for your clients, you're trying to stay consistent, but you have this like mental break because you have this cash flow issue and you're like, oh shit, what am I going to do? Right. So that just like screws up everything. So once you can get into that space that feels stabilized, you might just be like, you know what, I'm going to open enrollment again for permission to profit. And it's going to be really easy. And I'm just going to have fun with it. And I'm going to enroll through new people, and not even viewing it as like, it's a big launch again, but just like, oh, I have 3 more spots that just opened up, or I have 1 more spot that just opened up because, this lady wants a refund or whatever that is. And then Cammie, you did ask me a question in the group too that I wanted to save for the call because I think it's important for everybody to hear. Even though, like I said, we are focusing on the main offer in this program, I think it is totally fine to sell multiple things at once. The thing you just want to remember is that whatever you're selling, they have to be completely different things. It's whenever it gets confusing when it's like, oh, they're so similar, I don't know which one to choose. And then people just don't buy. But if you're selling, like, let's say you're selling one-on-one and you're selling like a membership, like those are 2 totally different things. Those are 2 totally different people at 2 totally different journeys. And they're going to know, like somebody who wants the membership probably isn't ready or can't afford the one-on-one. And somebody who wants the one-on-one is going to think that the membership is like a waste of time. Right. So I feel like it's totally fine to be able to sell multiple things at once. And again, having that mindset of I'm always open for business and being able to just, you know what, you can always buy something from me, permission to profit is always open and you can just, continually let people in there. And I like that better too, because we're so used to this like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. We lose momentum like that, So it's like, oh, launch. Now I got to take a break, right? This is what happened to you, Cindy, right? So it's like, oh, now I got to take a break. And then it's like, oh, to get that momentum back up, why not just keep the momentum all the way through and just stay showing up and stay consistent and stay selling something, anything, because then there's no dips. And then that's just your flow, right? You just show up because that's just what you do. That's your job. Is that helpful?
Yes. Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
So you just had something in my brain. My group, Permission to Profit, is for business owners wanting to get to 100K. They're wanting to get to 10K months in their first 3 years of business. And I just realized my one-on-one is actually more for business owners who are at like 600K. They're getting to 1 million and they need to feel more spiritually grounded, emotionally grounded. They might be wanting to do inner child work. And I don't think I've said that too much recently. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that. On like positioning myself for that person who's having a mental breakdown, who needs like a calm energy for one-on-one coaching each week.
Yeah, and it's just a distinction between those two things. They're very different. So be clear on like, and I've done things before where I've just created like a more general piece of content that is just like, oh, here's my mindset around business, or here's my mindset around entrepreneurship. And I've even sold multiple things in that one post. So I'll say like, hey, if you're at this place in your business and you're looking to do this, this is the program for you. If you're here, this, explore this with me. Right. So you could do that.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yep, you're so welcome. All right, let's go to Dana. I see you guys are chatting it up too, which is awesome. All right, Dana.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey there. So I resonate with what the other two were saying about wanting to do group. So I've been doing what I do for 12 years, almost 13. I'm a hypnotherapist. I actually specialize in chronic fatigue and trauma and, the mental emotional connection between mind body stuff. And I've been doing one-on-one forever. It's always been great and successful. And then I just recently had a baby and like my whole business like imploded. I also have digital courses that they sell. And recently, literally since I've had my baby, the digital courses are not selling and my one-on-one has taken a big dip. So I've been thinking for a long time to do group. I also have like an energetic, I feel emotionally tapped out just from being a new mom. I'm very tired. And I'm also a manifesting generator. And so I know that this is kind of coming up on my radar to sharpen a group course. And I definitely think also my resistance is continuing to market the same thing. Like if my offering is different, then I would have different, it's just a mental block I have, that if it's the same offer consistently, how do I market it differently? It's the same thing. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you brought that up actually, because I'm sure a lot of people think that way. And I thought that way, which is what I was saying in the beginning. Like we're conditioned to like, always do something new. So I have a couple different perspectives on that. Number one, you can market it differently. So you'll have the same course, same sales page, same everything. But what I was talking about earlier with the angles. So I'll teach you guys how to have multiple different angles that you can sell from your program. So literally like if you're doing it 4 times a year, you can have 4 different angles. So each launch or each enrollment period, you're like taking a different angle, right? So it feels fun and fresh for you still. And it also feels fun and fresh for your audience, right? The other thing too is I think the reason why that conditioning happened with launching things all the time is because the audience wasn't growing. Now think about this. If you're selling to the same people, day in, day out, you're selling to the same people every month, same people every year, of course they're going to get tired of you marketing the same program, right? Now, if you're consistently growing your audience, it's new people that are seeing this. They haven't seen that offer before. They haven't seen that marketing before. So, one of my other, big things is the audience growth, and continually getting new people into the pipeline. Not only that, but like somebody might, stumble upon you today. And let's say you're in the middle of a launch or something, and they just might not be ready, and then maybe a few months down the road when you're like, oh, hey, enrollment's back, and now they've had a couple months where they're reading your emails, they're getting your content, and they're like, you know what, I'm ready now. So, I think it is definitely a mindset thing, and a perspective shift of just like, you can market it differently so it feels more fun to you. And you can also just continue to grow your audience so that they don't get bored with what you're putting out there. All righty. I'm going to catch up on the chats later. I see you guys chatting. I have a 13-year-old too, Cindy. Got a teenager last year. I know. All right, Dana, does that answer your question? And do you have anything else? I know you just said you can't speak too loud because of the baby. You're good? Okay, perfect. All righty. Let's go to Vanessa.
Okay, guys,
can I see you? There you are. I can hear you.
Hi. I'm feeding my baby right now. He's just waking up. I guess he wants to continue sleeping. He's just 20 months old.
Aw.
So he's been sleeping for a while. He's waking up soon. So I feel like I don't know if I want to transition from, because I've been selling my mini course and that just ended. And I want to go back to my signature program that I haven't done anything for the last couple of years since right after I got pregnant, I guess. So it's like, going back to that. Plus, I told you I signed up with few people, but they didn't. One didn't do it, and the other one didn't finish. So I feel like I have to start all over again because I had the name of the program and everything, but probably will be reviewing that and see. Like I have the base, I have the outline and everything. So, and I haven't done much on social media for a while. So my audience is like, I don't think nobody's seeing my post because nobody liking it. I'm not sure, but I can see in the stories who's seeing or no. So that's different. But so yeah, I don't know. Like my signature program is 101 for 90 days. I've been thinking about like doing a small group, like 3 to 4 people at a time. But like I'm not sure. Like I'm an accountant, so I also do bookkeeping, taxes. Now it's tax season, and I'm a financial coach. So yeah, it's like I feel like sorry. Like, I don't know. I'm like in between like what to do next, and now I have to start promoting and again, and I'm actually in the middle of promoting a friend. So it's like how I'm gonna promote somebody else and still promote myself with my program, and so I haven't done much for my thing, I guess, for now. Yeah, I don't know what else I wanted to share, but yes, it's a lot of things going on that I'm thinking about. I also have a new group. It's not on Facebook. I have like wait list for a Facebook group, but I have a few people that join my new it's a school. You have a school, the platform. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm in your group too.
Yeah.
So So yeah, so I created that, and now it's free, but I was thinking to create as a membership. So subscription. Maybe it's right now. So yeah.
Here's what I think. It's easy. What's good about social media, even though it's kind of a bad thing because it moves so quickly, is that it moves so quickly. So if you just decide, like, I am going to show up now, I'm going to be consistent, it's not going to take you long to, get your people back. It's not going to take you long for people to start catching on to what you're doing. So that's the one good thing about, just making that decision to now be visible, even though you haven't been visible or consistent. It can happen pretty quickly. So you have your one-on-one. Definitely within this 6 weeks, I will show you, all of you guys, how to create that group structure and enroll people in that with your messaging. So even if you don't have a big audience right now and you're, wanting to do the group thing or the membership thing, I would hold off on because you don't have the audience yet. So for me, I think a lot of people prematurely will do like a membership or something low cost. But if you really start crunching the numbers, it's like, it's really not worth it, right, for you to do that. So I would be focused on, filling your one-on-ones, like I was telling Cami, stabilize the income. That way you feel good. You're like, okay, I have cash flow. I have a couple clients. And then now I'm also going to offer this group, maybe 5 people. I would suggest like 5 or 7 people. And the reason why is because not everybody shows up. Like right now, I think there's at least 2 people who are not here, so it's like, if you only have 3 people in your group and nobody shows up or one person shows up, now you're doing one-on-one, right, for a group price. So I always suggest going for like 5 to 7. And then obviously once you're more in flow with the program, then you can have 10, 12, whatever your max is going to be. But yeah, so that's what we'll work on together is your actual messaging. Also, because you are a bookkeeper and what did you say? How did you word it?
Financial coach.
Financial coach. Okay.
And
So
I'm tax saving strategist.
so we'll really look at like how you can position yourself and position your offer so that it's, it's different than what other bookkeepers and financial people are doing.
Yeah. And my signature program is all included. Like I help them, with all the things, bookkeeping, taxes, and getting the financial organized. But I've been consistent actually, like every month sending emails to my email list about taxes, and I have like my tax tips that I send every Tuesday or during tax season and once a month. But yeah, so I'm like,
all right, good.
So I've been consistent then, and I've been sending more emails. I like writing emails like you do. So try to do that than being on social media, but I know I have to be more like.
Well, I mean, you can work around it, I mean, obviously you will need to get your audience from somewhere. So that's where the social media comes in. But if the majority of your marketing is going to be on email, like because of the industry that you're in, I think it's fine, so we'll discuss that more.
Yeah,
for sure. And then let me just read some of these comments. Thanks for the kickoff call. So helpful. Oh, you're so welcome. Haven't posted much on social media. Okay, we went over this. You're promoting your friend's workshop. It's easier to promote somebody else's business. Yeah, I feel like it's always like that, right? It's like you go to a restaurant and they have great food, or you get like an amazing massage. Like you're just like wanting to tell everybody about it. How like the real test is like, how do I get that excited about my own thing? You really do have to stand behind your own stuff, and that's something that we're going to go into depth here too. It's one thing I always tell my people, like, don't sell anything that you're not in love with. Don't sell anything that you're not 100% behind, because the results are going to be bleak and then you're going to be mad anyway. So, like, even if it takes a little bit for you to like percolate that, like, then it's like, okay, like this is my thing and I stand behind my thing and I'm going to sell it just as good as I would sell somebody else's thing. So we'll get you there. All righty, let's go to Melissa. How are you?
Unmute myself. I'm good. So basically, I'm kind of like in a rebranding. And so I've done a little bit of coaching, like one-on-one. But in the past few years, like pre-COVID, I had more going on with the coaching. And like you, I've been in the industry for over 10 years now. So I've kind of, gone through all the things. I went from starting out as a holistic health coach to then like spiritual life coach, and then incorporating it, and then working with female entrepreneurs, and just kind of like, morphing through, all the different things and interests. And then I also come from the beauty industry originally. So I owned a hair salon for years and did a lot in that industry as well. So I've kind of felt like for a while that I really wanted to incorporate all the different things that I enjoy.
Oh, I lost you. Okay, I think you're back. I lost you.
Okay, sorry. Oh, I had to plug my laptop. I don't know what happened, but we're all good. So that's kind of where I'm at. And so I've been really thinking, and then like COVID, I was ready to get back into it. I had been really sick in 2019, and I had major surgery in the fall of 2019. And I was working with other mentors and coaches, and I was really anxious to get back into it, and had all these ideas. And I have a ton of like brainstorming, ideas that I want to do. And then COVID happened, and I just completely lost all, and just was focusing on everything else that was going on, and really kind of took me, on a whole nother path. But it's all good, and it all leads us back to where we're meant to be. So, but I do think that for me, I really want to incorporate a lot of different parts of the things that I enjoy teaching on, but also focusing on something that's obviously people are going to want to, pull the credit card out of their wallet and pay for, and also be able to serve people in a way that feels good to them, that they want, to join, and it has value to them. So I think that's where I've struggled getting like clear on my messaging. Should I lead with this or should I lead with that? I feel like that has been one of my biggest struggles, going back and forth. Like I have this passion, like I have a beauty line that I want to start, health and beauty line. I have, e-commerce stuff. So I feel like I've been torn in all these different directions, and then I'm not getting anything done because of all these, I have amazing ideas, but I'm not implementing and actually focused long enough to figure out like, okay, what do I want to focus on? And I have to like keep my focus there, because if I do, I know I can do amazing things, but I've just been all over the place. And so I finally, moved like you to Florida. So I'm feeling like finally getting settled and ready to like kind of just go full in,
Awesome.
But basically, yeah. So basically for me, I have something that I mapped out already, but leading with the visibility, because I think that's, and even for me, I don't know why the video piece is like my biggest thing, that it's just like, I have so much resistance around it. And I don't know why, I mean, we're always our own worst critics at most of the time, but I can get on stages and speak publicly in front of people, but for some reason, seeing myself on video, I'm just like, oh, really? Like, I can't even stand to see myself. Can't I just shut it off? I mean, that's the things that go in my head. So I know that a lot of us struggle with these types of things, getting past that, and then, doing all the content, because I feel like that's also something like I feel like I'm kind of burnt out on, and I need to get that feeling back of excitement to actually do the content to put out onto all those platforms. And I just feel like there's more, now there's TikTok, now there's Reels and Story. There's just like so much more. And like when we started, like 10, 11 years ago
nothing.
or over. No, and the thing is I, even back then, wasn't even good at writing. I mean, that I took a lot of classes and courses on, and speaking and writing, to get a lot better. And so I got pretty good at it, for me anyway. And so I love writing now, like to sit there and just, it's like so healing to me. It's like it's like healing work to sit down and like write out a post, you know, and share that with the world. And that took a lot of courage at first, you know, to share and put it on paper. So that was quite a process. But now it's like going beyond that. Now we have to actually show up, you know, in live video, or even if we, you know, make it prior, we still have to like show up, you know, as our, you know, best self or our authentic selves, whatever you want to say. You know, for everyone, it's a little bit different. You know, some people want to show up really polished. Some people, you know, just roll out of bed, you know, and like still have makeup on from the night before, and they seem to pull it off. So, I mean, we all have our, you know, ways of doing it, but I just feel like that's been I'm like drained. I feel very drained. And so I think this, even just teaching it, also helps me get more enthusiastic, knowing I feel like sometimes we have to help others to help ourselves almost. It's like we know what to do, but we aren't doing, like we have that block.
Yeah. And it's always easier to do it for someone else.
Yeah.
I think everything that you said is so relatable on so many levels to probably everybody here. So thank you for sharing that. And, you know, my goal is to help you guys make it so seamless, right? Like I'm always about like flow, but not like the airy fairy flow, but like what's your flow? What's your consistency? What feels good for you to do? Because the draining energy comes when you're like forcing yourself to do something. Right? Or you're trying to do something because you think you should do it versus like, this is what I want to do. Right. And, a little off topic to what we're going to be covering in the 6 weeks, but this is something that like helped me with the perspective of my business, because I was the same way. I'm like, oh, I want to do like all these other things. Like, I don't just want to be put into this coaching box, you know, like I want to like make meditation music. I want to like do like a music video. Like I just wanted to do like all these like different things, you know, and I'm like, but that doesn't go with like this box that I've put myself in, you know. And the one thing I looked at is really just kind of separating the things. So for me, there's like my personal brand. It's me, you know, and under my personal brand, like I can do anything. I can sell anything. I can talk about anything. But then I have my coaching business. Right. And that's separate, like it's a separate thing. So I started kind of like looking at things like that. So because you are multi-passionate and you have those things, like you can have like your programs and your offers and your, you know, your coaching courses, like that's just one arm of what you do. But then you have this other, like, you know, maybe it's like this quirky like thing you want to do with like skits and like, you know, just different things. It's so funny. Like one of the things I've wanted to do, you'll get a kick out of this, is this character that I came up with, and her name is Jenny Calamari. And she's just like this typical Jersey girl that like wears her leopard and like has the poop in her hair. It's just like, it's something I've been talking about forever, but I'm like, I didn't do it because I'm like, oh, I'm in this box. I have to, you know, represent a certain way, or I have to show a certain way. But when I kind of started to pull those things out, like there's me as the person, and then there's what I do. And what I do isn't necessarily who I am. And that's another conditioning I feel like we've gotten in the coaching industry for so long. It's like, you are your business. You are a, you know, a coach, but it's like, no, that's just what I do. So separating the things of like what you do, what you're passionate about, and just who you are. And then looking at it like holistically, like, okay, how can I get fulfillment out of all of these things?
Right.
And maybe it's like, you have to do it in a process. Like, okay, I'm going to, you know, get really clear and focus on this thing. Once that's set, then I'm going to move on to the other thing. Maybe you might be able to do them all at the same time. It really just depends on your bandwidth and stuff.
Well, it's good that you're bringing this up, because this is what I feel like with my program, my signature program. It's about branding yourself. And so that you are positioned as you are selling yourself, so that no matter what you're selling, your audience will buy whatever you're because you've built that real connection. So that's really like what I'm creating, like the visibility, the branding, like branding yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. So then you're on the right path.
Okay. Yay.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. And like I was saying, this is why I like everybody to, you know, introduce themselves, because you come from a beauty background, and Olga, who I'm going to next, is also has a beauty background. So there could be some synergy there. Olga, how are you? Are you there? Where are you? She's got to unmute herself. And I don't know which one it is. Let's see. Hello? Okay, there you are. Can you hear me? Oh, maybe that's not the right one. Hold on. Hello? Oh, that is the right one. All right. All right. You've got the floor, Olga. We're just sharing.
Okay.
I think you were here for what we're doing, right? We're just doing a little introduction and anything else you want to share for today. Okay.
Yeah, I've been hearing everybody. I can relate to pretty much everybody around there. I haven't started off with my clients, and yes, I have 15 years of, at least, of in the beauty industry doing eyelash extensions, transitioning into hypnotherapist and coaching, which I do NLP, neuro-linguistic programming as well. So I'm focusing on the beauty part for women entrepreneurs. They're in the beauty business and having to do a mindset change, basically. So Jenna knows I've been following her forever, and I'm in one of her other groups and created an ebook. And I think I want to follow with that ebook the program that I want to create.
Okay. Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. So, I just feel like I'm stuck on the writing mostly. I know you're great in the writing. I feel like I just don't know how to put it into words what I want to say it the right way. The programs, I have many ideas, multifaceted. I also have 3 books on the works, course, ebooks, I got it all going right now. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to have Jenna help me out and just kind of focus on one thing and just keep it rolling.
Well, yeah. So that's going to be one of the first things that I help you guys with is just dialing in on what that offer is going to be. Getting really clear on the messaging, getting really clear on how to share it, because that's another thing. Like a lot of times it's like, we know what we offer, like we know how awesome it is, but it's like when it comes to translating that into content or an email or whatever, like a lot of people get stuck there. So I'm definitely going to be giving you guys some activities and prompts and things like that. Also, hope you guys are not shy when it comes to AI, because I will be giving you some ChatGPT prompts too that will help you just get some ideas. What I love to use it for is ideation. So it's like maybe you have an idea, but you just don't quite know how to say it. Like I'll be giving you guys some prompts there too. So that way you can kind of just like get that ball rolling for yourself. Because like I was saying, it's the messaging and the positioning. And if you're unclear, then how you deliver it is going to be unclear. Right. So that's going to be the first thing that we're going to work on anyway, is getting super clear on what the offer actually is, why people need it. Right. And then once that is sounding board, yeah. Once that is established, then it's like it makes all the other stuff easy. Right. So a couple of you guys were saying like how draining creating the content is and all of that stuff. And it's like, but it's only draining because something's out of alignment. That's the way I've always looked at it. Like if something doesn't feel good for me or something is draining or taking a lot of my energy, it's probably out of alignment. Because think about when you're doing something that is in alignment. Think about when you're doing something that is fulfilling, that's fun, that you enjoy. Like time stands still, right? Like you want more of that. You want more of that feeling. But when you're forcing yourself to do something, it feels, and then you lose that energy, and even little things. So that's another thing that I'm going to be sharing with you guys as well, is like how to offset some of that stuff, because there is stuff that needs to be done, obviously, but how can we like offset that so that we're not burning out in the process of enrolling? We're not burning out in the process of, telling everybody what we're doing and how we're doing it. So that'll be our first week. So look out for that. Tonight, you'll get your first assignment. And I don't think you were on, Olga, but everybody else I think was on. The way that it's going to work is you will have something to do between now and next week. And so when you come next week, you'll actually have something to work with, get feedback on, ask questions, so we can get you real clarity on what you're doing. And then the weeks to follow from that are going to be, okay, the marketing becomes easy. The sales become easy. The writing becomes easy. The creating of the content becomes easy when you're clear and when you know what you're doing. When you're all over the place or you're unclear or you're doubtful, that's when it's hard. So that's going to be our first step, is getting super clear on that. And even if you're not like 100% confident, like that will come. I'm not necessarily somebody that's like a fake it till you make it type of person, but it's like, you just have to do it. You really just have to do it. Right. In order to, I think it was you, Cindy, that I was talking to about, like, was it you that was telling me that you weren't sure like who the audience exactly is going to be for your stuff? And it's like, you just have to test it out, So let's say you have like 2 different ideal clients. Like, which one is going to be the one? Well, you don't know until you actually do it, and that's why I love running the beta, because the beta allows you to have that leeway where you can I don't want to say make mistakes, but you get to like see like what actually works, what doesn't work, what do I like, what do my clients like, how do they receive my content. So I'm really excited for the next 6 weeks to be working with all of you. I love how diverse the group is, but then there's also a lot of, there's a lot of crossover too. So I think that's really, really cool. Any other questions or anything else that anybody wants to share before we get off for today? Melissa, you look like you want to say something.
I have a question. So with this I have ideas of like what I envision, like in terms of like the length of time, but with this, do you have a plan of what you think this program that you want for us to create is like? Is it a 3-month program? Is it a 6-month, or is there any more?
I say it's going to be between 6 and 12 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, that's typically, I mean, I know some people have like a 6-month or a thing, but the way, because I'm also, like I said, going to be talking about how this fits into your offer suite. So like, if you are selling a 12-month thing, there's really not a lot of leeway for like an upsell or a downsell, where it's like, this is like your core offer where most people are going to be driven to this offer. If this offer is not for them, you could be like, oh, well, I have this other thing, right? This higher offer. If this offer is not for them, oh, well, I have this membership or I have this course, right? But we want to be driving people mainly to this. And I see it as a transformational offer, So yeah, 6 to 12 weeks is usually the range. And then the price range is $3,500 to $5,000 typically. If like I said in one of the emails, if you're more of a higher price point girl, then your price point might be a little bit higher. But if you're more on the lower end, your first round might be $2,000, or $2,500.
Yeah.
But yeah, $3,500 to $5,000 range. And the reason for that is because of the way that we're going to do the enrollments and the payment plans and all of that, which we'll discuss later.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Anybody else? Let me just check the chat. Is it better to start with the high offer first, the mid-ticket offer? So that's what this program is. It's the middle. So yeah, I would say the middle is the group. The lower ticket is either going to be your membership or your DIY courses, anything under like $1,000. High ticket for me is like one-on-ones, masterminds, and done for you if you're some sort of agency. And yeah, it's just like unless you have a big audience, going for the small offers just doesn't make sense. financially, because you're always going to be strapped. You're always going to be like, the cash flow is always going to be hard, because you think about like, okay, I'm going to sell a $47 thing. A lot of people are going to buy the $47 thing. Okay, great. You might get 20 people to buy a $47 thing. That's only $1,000. And then you have to do that all over again next month to 20 new people or 50 new people, right? So in the structure that I'm going to be giving you guys in the 6 weeks, it's less clients, higher paying clients, longer payment plans, recurring revenue. So that's what we're focused on. And let me just see if I missed anything. ChatGPT is my sounding board. Yep. It is. And it's such a good listener, isn't it? I love it. I mean, I can see why people don't like it, but also like people who are just like copying and pasting from it that's the wrong way to do it. You know, there's a right way to do it and utilize it and leverage it. So let me see. Cindy says, I feel you, Melissa. Writing emails and posts, that feels okay or fun even. The video feels like hard work. Yeah, I feel you on that. I had resistance about ChatGPT. Looking forward to learning. Okay, perfect. Your personality. Oh, well, I'll give you some tips. I'll be giving you guys some tips on how to like make it sound more like you. Like I've gotten it to write some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, if you don't know how to use it, it's just like people are always like, oh, it doesn't work. Oh, it comes out crappy. And it's like, no, there's a specific way you got to use it. So I'm glad you guys are all on board with that. So I'll be, implementing that within your assignments and your homework and all of that stuff. Video feels easy. Sitting, writing, see, and you're all different. And so when it comes to the strategy piece, it is going to be leaning more on what feels good for you, what your strengths are, right? What you have the bandwidth for. And that's why everybody's different. Yes, you will absolutely get the strategy to fill the program. Yep, you guys are going to get it all. Awesome. Well, it was lovely to meet those of you who I have not met yet. And lovely to see the faces of the people I have. All right, guys. So next week, same time, same place, save the link. It'll always be the same link. It'll always be the same time. And this was kind of our kickoff week. So it's actually going to be our first week is going to start next week. Like our official week 1 will be next week. All right, ladies, any questions? You can post them in the Facebook group. If you have not filled out the form, do that for me as well, just so I have that. I know where you are. I know what you got going on. And I think that's it.
Right.
All right.
Thanks so much.
You guys are so welcome. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.